Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Zach with Beyond the Clear Forestry. I wanted to jump on for my next video and talk about something that quite a few subscribers have been commenting about and asking me questions about, and that is, how do I get work? How do I get leads? What do I do for marketing? Who do I use, if I use anybody for marketing, that sort of thing, as a newer, land clearing and forestry mulching company. And I've commented back to those subscribers, told them who I use, and so that answers that question right away. I do work with somebody for my leads, and I'm going to kind of explain that in this video. I don't know how long it's going to be, probably a little bit shorter than my normal videos because there's not a ton to say about it, but I at least wanted to jump on and do a video about who I use and if it's been worth it or not for me, kind of what the cost is, that sort of thing. And I'm not affiliated with them, I'm not sponsored by them, I'm not sponsored by anybody. Channel's too young for that, not enough subscribers to warrant getting a sponsorship or anything like that. So everything that I'm telling you is just going to be full disclosure from my experience, what I think, and if it's worth it or not. So now that said, of course, if you guys are looking into getting into this business, you're jumping on YouTube, you're on YouTube right now watching me, you're jumping on Google, you're doing, that type of research. And so the algorithm, I'm sure, has figured you out by now. And so when you jump on Instagram or Facebook or, I'm not on TikTok or X or anything like that, but for Instagram and Facebook, I know, at least for me, because I'm very grounded very rooted in this business at this point, as far as my Google searches and my YouTube videos and things like that, not just the ones I make, but also the ones that I watch, you're going to see all kinds of ads pop up for basically marketing companies, lead flow companies that work with land clearing, excavation, forestry mulching, that sort of thing, trying to get you guys quality leads. And I only have experience with one of them, so that's who I'm going to talk about today. I'm sure there are many out there. There seem to be more and more popping up, as that trend kind of seems to be getting more and more popular. But so where I'm going with this is they exclusively work with land clearing, excavation, and forestry mulching companies. And that is the trend I'm talking about that seems to be getting more and more popular, because I seem to, either that or the algorithm has just figured me out, and it tends to, I tend to just see more of them, where it's just like, hey, do you own a land clearing business? Do you own a forestry mulching company? Are you, excavation, blah, 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 blah. And, do you need better leads? I'm sure you've seen these advertisements, and, I'm sure there are some out there that are good. Obviously, I found one of them because I'm still working with them, and I'm sure there are some out there that are not. And I don't blame you guys for being skeptical about companies like that when you see those advertisements on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. I was skeptical as well, but just cut straight to the point here. The company that I use is called Rise Online Ads, and again, they only work with land clearing, forestry, and excavation companies. They are based out of the Texas area, and I think they've been in business for maybe 4 or 5 years now, at least in this business, in terms of doing marketing for companies like us, like me. I don't know where they cut their teeth prior to that, but I had heard about these guys from a guy that I follow on YouTube, and he had mentioned at one time, hey, reach out to me to see if you're interested in how we get leads and things like that. So I did that when I was just starting out, and he told me, I reached out to them, and we scheduled a phone call. I think it was actually a Zoom call, and to go over who they are, what they do, the different packages that they offer, how they market, what to expect in terms of numbers, things like that. And I'll be honest with you guys, I mean, I've never had a meeting, never talked to any companies like that before in terms of marketing, and I kind of had sticker shock, like at the cost to use their services, then of course paired with the ad spend dollar cost. And so they use primarily Facebook and Facebook/Instagram, the same entity now, and Google. And then they also provide SEO as well, search engine optimization. And they will also build you out a website too if they want you to. I already had a website at the time that had already been built out, and so we didn't opt to use that service of theirs. But anyway, the cost to use their services paired with the minimum amount that they recommend for ad spend dollars to actually, be worth it. And so I kind of had sticker shock from that price. And just to kind of go straight into the point, so I signed up. The package that they were pitching me, and the one that I ultimately ended up signing up for, was a 4-month package, and we chose to use Facebook only because Google was, compounding on top of that, and Google was individually just more expensive than using Facebook. And SEO was, more expensive as well. Of course, SEO takes a little bit longer to see a return on your investment, as they optimize, the search results when people are searching for services that you provide. That can take 6 months to a year before it really truly is optimized. And so we were looking for that, but primarily we were looking for an immediate return. And so we opted to go with Facebook. I would have loved to honestly add both and do Facebook and Google sponsored ads, but we could only afford to do one. We could barely afford to do one, I guess I should say. And so the price is, at the time, I'm sure that I've been working with them for about 9 months now, but at the time, the price for that package was about $8,000 or $9,000. So it was about I think it was $8,000, because we had $4,000 for 4 months for their services, and then we had another $4,000 for 4 months, so $1,000 a month each. Another $4,000 a month for ad spend. So $1,000 a month in ad spend, $1,000 a month for their services, for a total of 4 months, $8,000. And now I will tell you that their services also come with, they will provide you with a CRM as well, and you'll be able to manage your lead flow. They'll provide you with an app on your phone. All your lead flow comes through that. The app on your phone connects or communicates directly with the CRM, and so whenever they'll basically set you up with a phone number that's specific to you and your company that will port right to your cell phone or your business phone or whatever it is that you have, and it'll ring. Any customers that call you will ring through that app if they inquire off of a Facebook ad and fill out the form that they build and provide for you. It will come right through that app. So everything is very well organized in terms of keeping track of customers, customer information, names, phone numbers, addresses, what they want, where they're located. It's all in the CRM. You can also quote an invoice right through that CRM. So that's what a CRM is, of course. If you guys are familiar with that, then you know. But it makes it very, so not only are they marketing for you and building out your ads and monitoring those ads and watching for ad fatigue, and then tracking cost per lead and things like that, and continuing to adjust when needed. It eliminates all of that from my plate, and they've done it very effectively for me. Again, I was hesitant to sign on because of the price. I mean, naturally, we were just getting started. We didn't have a lot of money to spare. But, I had a conversation with the guy that I followed on YouTube too, and he'd been working with them for a while. And I said, it's kind of a risk, it's pretty expensive. And he's like, yeah, it's a bigger risk to try to do it without them. And, some people may agree with that. Some people may not agree with that. There are a lot of ways to market yourself, but this is the primary method that we chose to use. And man, it has paid off pretty big. So the package that I chose for the amount of ad spend that I was forking out, $1,000 a month for Facebook ad spend, they projected a 5x return on investment with that package. So basically it was saying, and that included the $4,000 a month for their services as well. So they're saying, well, you're going to spend $8,000 on this package for 4 months. We project that you should see a minimum of an 8x ROI, which would essentially mean that I should see a minimum of $40,000 in sales, not just estimates written, but actual sales, that job scheduled, on the books, money in the bank. And I was like, man, that would be fantastic if we could do that. And well, I will tell you that as a new company, after the first 4 months with them, we did that exactly. We spent $8,000. We brought in $40,000 in work, and we probably wrote, close to 100,000, I would say, in estimates. We're not, of course, we're not closing them all, but do the math. That's still a pretty good close rate. And so 4 months came and went. We signed up with them again for another 4 months. We kept the same ad spend dollars, $1,000 a month. We continued on with only Facebook, and we actually ended up topping that. I think we ended up coming in at like $50,000 on the books, and or scheduled money in the bank. And we are now going into our next, I guess it would be the next 4 months. So it'll be a year in September of 25 that we've been working with them. And so now here we are. I think it's the last, I think June 1st is Sunday, today's Thursday. So basically what I'm getting at is it's really paid off for us. I mean, I would estimate right now that 90% of my lead flow comes through them, and I would say that 99% of those leads are actual quality leads, that real people in my area from surrounding counties, surrounding cities and towns, looking for the work that we do. I think I've only reached out to 1 or 2 people in the last 9 months where the lead was, maybe from a different state. How it got in front of them, I don't know. If that does happen, you let Rise know. They can figure that out and adjust that, and basically, make sure that you're targeting the areas around you that you want to target. The other nice thing about them is that I guess it's a nice thing if they're not already working with somebody in your area, then it's a good thing. If they are, then it's a bad thing, because they will actually lock in your area. They won't double dip. So I don't exactly know what that radius is for, how far out it has to go before they, will not work with another company within your demographic. I just know that they do it. I don't know what the area is. I would have to ask. And so they've been great to work with. You're basically assigned somebody who you can call, text, email whenever you want to. They're always available. They've never not answered questions I've had. If I've had any concerns about seeing lead flow slow down or anything like that, they jump right in. They said, yep, we've been monitoring it. Cost per lead's going up a little bit, and we're going to adjust. We're going to launch a new ad campaign. And, then they do that, and man, it ticks right back up again. So I can't tell you guys how many. We've probably written, I don't know. Again, as a new company, right? I'm not, an established. We're trying to build a name for ourselves in my market and get to a point where word of mouth can take off, and we don't have to maybe spend this much on marketing, anymore. That would be fantastic. I think it's going to take a while to get to that point as we continue to grow and get in front of more people, but we get in front of a lot of people using them, and, whatever they've got figured out from a marketing and algorithm standpoint, our stuff gets in front of the right people. It gets in front of me. I see my own ads all the time scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, And so, I mean, I know that it's working. My friends and family, they see it, and we get a lot of lead flow, and we're only, I shouldn't say we're only spending $1,000 a month in ad spend, because that is a lot of money, but for the amount of money that it's bringing us, it's really not a lot of money. So, I mean, I can only imagine if I jumped up another $1,000 a month in ad spend, and maybe we could expect to get in front of that many more people, which would allow us to maybe keep the same close percentage, but if we get more opportunity, we can close more deals. So that's who I use, guys. That's like I said, that's 90% of my lead flow. Rise online ads out of Texas, and they're extremely easy to work with. It's cut and dry. Anything, the cost has always been the cost. I've never had any issues there with being charged more than I was supposed to be charged or anything like that. It's been almost 9 months. They've been great to work with. I have probably spent in 9 months a total of about $18,000 or $19,000 with them, and I've brought in probably close to 100. So, I mean, you guys do the math there, but to me, that's worth it. I mean, of course, it would be nice to not have to spend that much every month on marketing, but if it's working, then it's working. I mean, I see no reason to not continue on with them, or to part ways with them anytime in the near future. If we get to a point where it's like all of a sudden, listen, the phone is just kind of ringing off the hook, word of mouth is really taken off, and we're seeing just as many leads come in just from the phone ringing as we are through their services, and that kind of persists for a period of time and starts to become a trend, then maybe at that point we will opt to part ways with them, but maybe not at the same time, because if we're paying for that, and at this point it's already just kind of become an established part of my budget every month. I just expect that money. It's already budgeted for. It's been 9 months now. We've been able to adjust for it. We're making enough money from it to continue to pay for it. And it's work that I don't have to do. That's the nice thing. Like, I've got enough to do with running my machines and managing all those leads and reaching out to all those leads, and making sure we're contacting as soon as possible, going out to look at jobs, writing quotes, machine maintenance, doing all, like, I've got enough to do. Like, I don't want to have to manage a marketing campaign. It's not what I do. I don't, maybe if I had a background in that, I'd be hard pressed to pay anybody to do it. But at the same time, it comes down to time. Delegate when you can, because time is worth money too. And if it's something that brings me money, like the numbers that I've been talking about with you guys, then it's worth it for me to continue on that path. So anyways, guys, if you have any more questions about this, please let me know. If anything doesn't make sense, or you want to know any more specifics, I feel like I did a pretty good job covering the information about my experience with them and about them in general. But if there's something that you feel I missed, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, let me know what you guys, I know I've got some successful companies that subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you guys do. I mean, I'm always open to more methods for growing my company and bringing in more leads and, getting more opportunities. So, I mean, let me know what has worked for you guys. That's what's working for me. We're dabbling with a few other things that we may do, in my backyard, in terms of just like extremely local, because the backyard jobs are really nice to have as well. Things that are close to my house. I mean, we're reaching out and touching people hour and a half to 2 hours away, with using them as a marketing campaign. But that's nice, but at the same time, I don't want to have to travel 2 hours if I don't have to. But I've had plenty of jobs from using them that are in my backyard too. But anyway, we're just looking at some other methods of marketing, things that we could be doing on the side, because we do want to grow. If I didn't want to grow, if I only wanted to maintain costs, make a little money on the side, pay for my equipment, I'm already making enough money to do that just by using them. But I want more. I want the company to scale, and we want to grow. So let me know what you guys are doing. Drop it in the comments below. If you have any questions about this, let me know.
Okay, so clearly you can see I'm recording this part of the video on a different day since I'm wearing different clothes. But the information I'm going to share with you guys, I found out after I recorded the part of the video that you just watched, and so that is in reference to being able to get a discount if you guys do contact Rise Online and you were to sign on with them. If you mention, I verified this with them just a couple of days ago, if you mention my name, that you heard about them from me, you guys will receive a 10% discount signing on, and then therefore I will also receive a 10% discount from, not from ad spend or anything like that, but from their service fee. So I just wanted to put that in the video here at the last part. I still don't have any affiliation with them at all in terms of like a sponsorship or anything like that, but it's just a referral program that they offer. And so make sure that you guys, if you are interested, make sure that you mention my name, my company's name, either Zach Thomas or Beyond the Clear LLC, maybe both. And you guys should then be able to receive 10% off your service fee for signing on. And then, like I said, therefore, in turn, I should receive 10% discounts as well for my service fees, which, hey, that would be fantastic. So you guys win and I get to win a little bit too, so that's nice. But anyways, guys, this is where I will cut the video, and if you have any questions about anything, please feel free, drop it in the comments below. You can hit me up on my Facebook or my Instagram, DM me. If you guys want to have any more in-depth conversations about any of this stuff, usually, you know, if you DM me, I'm usually pretty willing to share my phone number, and I've had some pretty nice conversations with people about their startups and equipment that they're running. And again, that's kind of the most fun part for me about this, in all honesty, is just the connections that this has brought me with people in this industry across the country. And I really enjoy having those conversations with genuine people like yourself who are interested in what I do, and maybe you're looking to do it or you already do it. And it's just kind of a tight-knit network across the country. It's, you know, there's not a lot of people that do this, that seems. I mean, I've only got just a few people around me that do it. And you know, compared to other companies where there's hundreds of contractors around me that, you know, do remodels and build homes, etc. And so it's just kind of a tight-knit group of us, it seems like, and it's been a really good community to be a part of and inch my way into, and everybody has been great so far for the most part. So I appreciate the subscriptions, guys, and the comments, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll continue to put out the best content that I can to help you guys along. And again, please like and subscribe. That always helps me to know that you're liking what I'm putting out, and that reassurance is nice, and it keeps me motivated to go through the work to put these videos together, and the editing process, and taking the time and to record these videos, and, you know, throughout all of the things that I'm already dealing with as a business owner. So it's a lot extra, but again, I enjoy it, and the comments and the likes and the subscriptions just reassure that you guys like it as well. So I really appreciate it. So all right, guys, that's it for this one. I'll catch you on the next one.